What do you do in your relationship or in your life if you feel like that you're just trusting too much, that it's not safe to open your heart and trust someone in this particular moment? That's what we're talking about in this video.
So how do you know if you're trusting too much? I guess the place to start is, what is trust, Otto?
Yeah, because people are in relationships of all kinds. Personal relationships, love relationships, intimate relationships, relationships with your kids, people at work. And, you want to trust people, but, people have been hurt, they've been burned, they've been lied to, cheated on, and maybe some of those things are going on right now. So what do you do? And the question that you said is, what is trust? And this is going to be a really unusual definition of trust for most people, I believe, which is, trust is simply knowing or feeling that somebody else is going to do what you want them to do. Oddly enough, so we've had coaching client after coaching client over the years say to us, well, Susie and Otto, I just don't trust him. I don't trust her. What most people don't see is that what they're really saying is, I don't trust that they're going to do what I want.
Well, and exactly. And when, somebody then in their heart says, okay, I need to give that person another chance, another, they're coming at me, maybe there's been infidelity and they're coming and it's like, well, I need to open my heart. But every time I open my heart, it gets broken. And that's what Otto's talking about here is that person has an idea of how the other person should act, and they're not acting that way. So how do you know that you're trusting too much? You're trying over and over to make this thing work, and it hasn't.
Well, one of the things you have to do in any relationship is you've got to find out. You can't make any assumptions about what the other person wants, and you can't make any assumptions that they know what you want in the relationship. Susie, you and I have had so many clients that we've worked with one-on-one over the years where they have said to us, he or she should know what I want. Maybe not. Maybe not. Because it is so critical, so important that no matter what you think that they understand, or maybe, no matter what it is, maybe they don't know what it is that you want.
Well, and I've had many coaching clients, grapple with this over the years, and one stands out where his father just disappointed him over and over and over, and he kept coming back thinking that his father would be different, and he never was. And so he's making the assumptions that, this time he's going to act in a certain way, and he never does. But what we say is, your actions, what the other person's doing really is their true commitment. That's what you see. That's what you deny, really, when you are trusting that they'll act differently. And this gentleman that I was coaching, he finally saw that he came to more peace when he just did not expect his father to act any differently than he was. And I know that sounds weird, but he did come to some peace of, okay, this is the way that he's acting. Now, when you're in a relationship, a romantic relationship, you're married to somebody, or you're in a committed relationship, and they keep acting this way over and over that is against your values or against some kind of thing that you've got between you that you think was an agreement, then you have a choice. I think that's the bottom line, is to give yourself that choice as to, wait a minute, I'm going to slow this down and see what's true inside me and see what I truly want.
A lot of people in their relationships, one thing they don't realize, and you're talking about commitment and what people will do in their life, that's how you know what somebody else is committed to, is what they actually do, how they're showing up in the world, and how they're showing up in their relationship with you. And I think it's so fascinating that somebody says, well, I can't trust them. Well, here's what you can trust. You can trust that people are going to behave and they're going to act the way they act. And then the question becomes, are they doing what you want? And I know that this is being repeated a couple of times here in this short video, but that's really what happens, is people get so upset when they realize that this thing they're calling a lack of trust really is only they're doing something you don't want them to do. Maybe you have an agreement around this, maybe you don't, or maybe it's just expected or implied. But that's really what's going on when there's any kind of trust issue that's going on, is they're not doing what you want them to change, and the question is, are they going to change?
And how to know if you're trusting too much? See if you're hanging on to a hope that has not borne out in reality, where you see no glimmer of anything from the other person that they're headed in that direction, that they want to change in that way. I think that's really the crux of this. Are you just hoping people will change in the way that you want them to change? And they may not.
So you got to be clear about also what it is that you really want. This is huge. Because so many people say, I want to have a more loving, more trusting, more connected, a closer relationship. I want to really feel that person, and then they won't open their heart to the other person. They're keeping themselves and their partner, like we're talking about intimate relationships or a marriage, they're keeping them at a distance. You're keeping your heart closed and keeping yourself at a distance. That's important to recognize and to take a look at. Am I opening my heart, if that's something that you want from the other person? If you're not willing to do that, then the question is why? Again, we've talked about this quite a bit here in this short video, about they're just simply doing something you don't want them to do. You got to listen inside. So huge.
Slow down.
Slow down and really take a look at, what do I want here? Not, do I want them to pay? Not, do I want to beat them up emotionally, or do I want to withhold from them or punish them in some way?
Or am I really wanting them to be somebody other than who they want to be?
Yeah. So to answer the question totally and completely, how do you know if you're trusting too much? If you're giving someone, too much of your heart?
Benefit of the doubt, too many times.
Yeah, because this is a thing that people deal with all the time, is how do you know if you're trusting too much? It's simply this. Are you arguing with reality when reality says something different? That's the only measurement stick that you have. Are you arguing with reality in such a way that it's just the blind truth? It's really just what's true. Not what you wish, not what you hope, not what you want, but what is the reality of what's going on, and are you arguing with that, and how much? Also, you can take a look at, is what I'm wanting realistic? Is what I'm wanting coming from the past and how I wanted things from the past, or is this some kind of conscious way that you want your relationships in your life to be? Most people don't get too conscious about their relationships until it's forced upon them, and a lot of times then it may be too late. But that's how you know if you're trusting too much. Are you arguing with reality? That's how you know. If you want to learn more about trust, how to build trust in a relationship, how to truly connect and reconnect when there's been trust issues, because this is a big issue for a lot of people, then we would suggest going to our website at susieandotto.com. You'll find the link right here below, and just simply look at the category there, which is under our topics, which is trust. We have a trust category there. You'll find a lot of articles, and we also have a program called Relationship Trust Turnaround. That is an entire program about how to build and rebuild trust in a relationship. So go check that out. We know you will love it.